and welcome to Shinsōban. I'm Jay,
And I'm Bea.
and today I'm overanalyzing building structures, and she's getting tired of running around in circles because she ate a potato.
Yes, I ate a potato. And that's the start of the
Yeah,
podcast episode today.
I ate a potato. That's what we're calling this episode.
Yes, we ate potatoes.
No, not we. It's just you. You're the one that ate potatoes. I'm being a structural engineer today.
But I want to share my potato.
Okay,
I promise
but
if you guys read this volume, you'd actually understand what that reference is.
you sound like an English teacher. If you guys did the reading, you would understand what I'm talking about.
Well, you can't. That's true.
I'm kidding. Anyways, would you like to tell us about your funny mic stand today?
Yep, so my mic stand is usually just whatever I find in my desk drawer. So this time around, I found this little kind of small basket slash container that I weaved out of it's like plant fibers. I forget which plant specifically.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Interesting.
I did it when I was overseas for uni. I went to Vanuatu last year in Jan.
Oh.
So yeah, it's quite sturdy and I really like it. It's something solid to hold, and it's slightly squishy.
Like a
But yeah,
potato, like a boiled potato.
honestly, if we'll probably show pictures of what it looks like on Instagram, but you could definitely put like a hot potato in here. Like
Is it like a little koozie for your hot
yes,
potato?
yes, exactly. You can put
Okay.
maybe even two if you're hungry. But yeah.
Two whole potatoes. Okay.
How about you, Jay?
My mic stand today is a bit weird. So I believe it was last year I was gifted a pair of Dyson headphones by my family. Yes, I know, Dyson, the vacuum company. And it came with a air filter mask because apparently that's a thing now, which attaches magnetically to my headphones. So I'm using that as a mic stand today. I'm just like hanging it at the bottom of my face.
It
So
looks
I'm
very
hands free.
meta. Yeah,
Yeah, if
that's
I
good.
if I put the mask up, it's kind of like cyberpunk esque.
Looks really cool. Actually,
Thank you.
you should wear it out.
I should wear the mask out. I think I'd be lynched in the street if I wore this. It's more for like if you live in a really bad, like a really polluted environment, that
Yeah, if it's like
or
hazy and
like if
stuff.
it's like the height of COVID, I guess maybe
That's true
then
as well.
you could. But my headphones do have air filters on the side that I'm meant to replace every 6 months. The air filters cost $80.
What?
So yeah, I'm not using this as a mask. I'm sorry, that's too expensive.
That's
You only
fair.
get like one pair of air filters, so I'm good.
Yeah, fair enough. It's pricey
Yeah, Dyson's expensive.
for sure.
So getting back to the important topic at hand, how did you like this volume? What were your first impressions before
I
discussion?
um I really like this volume. I feel like out of the four that we've read now, this one is the
Mm-hmm.
most intriguing just because it's not necessarily set. Well, to be fair, the first volume was very much set in the past, but that was a setup for the events to come, right? And then we were
Yes.
kind of looking at what events are happening in real time for them.
Yep.
But I like that a lot of this volume was actually during what was like set during their like recruitment days. I really like seeing that side of the story and the characters.
That's true. Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah, how about you? What did you think?
I describe this volume as feast or famine in terms of theorizing, like per chapter.
Feast or famine?
There's, yeah, so feast or famine in the sense that like some chapters have a lot to like talk about or discuss potentially. Because I'm looking at it from a theorizing angle, right? I've already seen the story, but then some chapters, one chapter specifically comes to mind. So for our audience, I don't know if I've ever shared this before, but what I like to do is I have a Google Docs on the side, where I have like notes I want to discuss. I am not kidding. One chapter has exactly one entry in it, and that's me mentioning something funny. So that's what I mean by feast or famine. There's like some chapters have a lot to unpack, I think, and other chapters have absolutely nothing.
I I think I know what you mean. Like I also have, just for the readers to know as well, I also have a Google Docs on the side. Kind of just like to to list out the main plot points we should discuss, and kind of like theories or discussions I want to bring up. I think theory wise, we're not very well, we'll see, but it's not very theory full. But I think there's lots of good.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, maybe Jay's the conspiracy theorist for today.
Whatever you
Um
say.
but in terms of theory versus discussion, this time around I think I have a lot more discussion, which is fun because I feel like there are a lot of themes that are quite interesting to cover today.
That's true. I do have some very interesting facts and a very interesting relationship to another anime.
Ooh,
Nothing to do with the story though. It was just kind of funny
okay.
that I. Would you like to hear that now or whenever it shows up in the manga itself?
Whatever you feel like is best.
I think I'd like to share this now just because it might break up the flow later.
Sure.
But in one of the chapters, I believe chapter 16, at the end, they kind of have, you know how like some chapters have like a publicly available knowledge section where they're just like doing some world building on the side.
Yeah.
So as usual, I was staring at that section because that is my job on this podcast. So I noticed something really interesting. Hold on, let me just pull it up again. Yes, so so the author Hajime Isayama thanks two other authors specifically in terms of I'm not sure what for exactly. I want to say it's like world building or like just adding in details about some of this stuff because the entry was about vertical maneuvering equipment, right?
Yeah.
The two authors they kind of like thanked was Ukyo Kodachi and Kiyomune Miwa,
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
right? So for those Naruto fans in the audience, possibly, you might know Ukyo Kodachi as the person who started off writing Boruto, the sequel to Naruto. Of
Ooh.
course, he has been replaced by Kishimoto now, who now writes Boruto and was the author of Naruto. The other person, Kiyomune Miwa, worked on the Boruto Naruto Next Generation's light novel.
Oh.
They authored that, and they've also done work on series like Steins Gate. They've worked on Danganronpa, I think one of the anime specifically, and also some of the Fate series. So I thought that was pretty interesting that the two authors thanked so far have both been from like the Naruto slash Boruto sphere.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess like maybe they'll have like an orange-haired kid in the anime. Like as a little
Yeah,
tribute. Like a
an
really spiky haired.
orange. Yeah, the village outcast is just gonna be some random ass spiky head kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to share that. I thought that's really cute.
That is really
Because
cute.
for those who don't know, Naruto was the first series I ever read, and I was obsessed with it for years on end. So I really perked up when I saw Ukyo Kodachi for all the faults of Boruto, but we'll discuss that another time.
I love that fun fact though. I love when mangakas like you can kind of see them interacting and they get like shout
Yeah,
outs in other people's work. Like it's just kind of cute.
yeah, yeah. I really like seeing like I think this was really prevalent in some of the bigger titles, like Naruto, Dragon Ball, and Bleach. They kind of have like little thank you sections at the end of some volumes where like other big illustrators actually like draw stuff for them. And it's
Mm.
really cool. I always like seeing characters drawn in different art styles. Hopefully, we'll see that for AOT. I don't remember.
Oh yes, I d- I remember when I was first starting out with reading manga and seeing like
Mm-hmm.
different, especially when it's like anniversaries or stuff like that, like different
Yeah,
authors drawing characters in their original art, in their like
yeah,
unique art style. Like it's always so fun to me. Yeah.
yeah. I think one of the only ones I recall properly is Rurouni Kenshin had a bunch of big mangaka draw for them. I think Kishimoto and Toriyama might have. Not super sure though.
Mm, fair enough.
But anyways, enough rambling. Why don't you
Yes.
take us through this volume?
Okay. So volume 4, a big one. We've got five. We've got no, 5 episodes slash chapters.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll start with chapter 14 called, well, depending on your translation, it's either primordial or primitive desire. Not sure which is which,
Um,
but
Let me check what I had. I actually don't remember. Yeah. I think I have primitive desire. That's the one I have.
mm, I mean it's quite similar meanings, like a basic or fundamental desire basically. Like
That's
what's your core
true.
need or your core want. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me tell you a story, fam. So we basically start where we left off. Essentially, Eren is kind of
Mm-hmm.
like slumped on the ground
Yeah.
in his Titan form. Armin is trying to get him to snap out of it, and but Eren's in this crazy hallucination where he's back home with his family, and all
Would
of
you really call
this.
it crazy though? I
Well,
think it's more like a bittersweet hallucination.
I feel like not really. Yeah, you're right. Not really crazy. I just feel like it's so um torturous. It's crazy in the sense
Yes.
that in like when he's in pain being in this titan form, like fusing to the titan and um
Yes.
yeah, exactly, like on the brink of life and death, like like this is what your brain decides to cope with. It's like
Yeah.
your family at home, like so simple.
Yeah.
It's so sad. um
Yeah, it really was. And I really hate that, one of the first things, was it in this chapter or previous? But one of the first things Aaron asks is, why is Armin outside and not inside? It's so sad and sweet.
oh yeah, he does ask that, I think, in the previous volume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I don't know if I mentioned that last week. I completely forget. But
Mm.
yeah, I get what you mean. It's very torturous to see, like, not even for Aaron himself, but as the reader, knowing what he's kind of gone through. So hurtful.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of just like
Mm.
bittersweet being able to see all of that. Um, Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I remember reading this chapter a little bit after we recorded last week, and I noticed a
Mm-hmm.
detail, and I did not mention it in my notes, but I'll bring it up
Oh,
later. But anyways,
okay.
um, but yeah, so Aaron's hallucinating. Armin's trying to get him to snap out of it, and while all this is happening, the other soldiers along and Mikasa being one of those people are still fighting off like the titans within the second wall rose. Yes, wall rose.
Isn't it trust?
Well,
The fighting for Trust District. Yeah, well, Rose, but
yeah,
they're
but
fighting
that's
for
still like
Trust
second wall,
District.
right?
Yes, yes. Rose, I'm pretty sure you're right about Wall Rose though. Yes, it is Wall Rose that they're trying to plug up, and specifically the Trust District. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Yep, and in the hallucination, We can tell that Eren is confused about what Armin's saying. He's not really sure why Armin keeps telling him to go outside. Um, and in this hallucination, he doesn't even know why he wants to join like the military or like the survey corps.
Mm.
Which I feel is kind of strange because even before like the events with like the Colossus Titan, he's always wanted to go outside and you know.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Like, I'm not really sure why.
Can I pose you a theory to
Okay,
that? Last week you mentioned the untrustable or the mistrust, like what was it called? The
unreliable narrator.
yes, sorry. I don't know why I keep messing it
Not
up.
the untrustable.
Unreliable. The untrustable narrator. What if what we've been told about Eren always wanting to go outside was a lie, and that's why Eren's confused right now?
Oof.
Or it could just be him losing his memories, because Grisha did say you'd lose your
That's
memories.
true. Whatever we found out,
It
like
goes
in
right out the window
yeah,
every
in the
single time.
like everything's up in the air now, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to choose what you believe. You can choose to believe
I
all of it, or take it with a grain of salt, or believe none of it.
I get to be a little shit about everything now, which I love.
As long as
With
you
the
don't keep on
untrustable narrator.
literally, as long as you don't keep on throwing this unreliable narrator stuff on me, because I'm going to lose my mind
Okay, but
otherwise.
no, okay, so in my defense, I read this whole manga like a solid 2 years ago. So half of whatever I'm saying is generally what I believe right now.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
I do
So
like that Eren does a because I'm me. Um, he's just like, oh, because I was born in this world. It's got the same energy as like, how are you gonna defeat this evil? Because I'm me. Like, the shonen protagonist. It's like I can do it.
oh,
Um,
okay. I know
yeah,
which part you're
it,
talking about. I think I could
yeah.
talk a little bit about that. I did have like a slight
Okay,
discussion over that. But yeah,
okay.
before
Please
we
go on.
get to there, yeah, Armin kind of
Okay.
reminds him that he wanted to see the outside world, but
Mm.
we find out that apparently Eren kind of stopped talking about doing that because like was it like to keep Armin safe? Like so that Armin wouldn't
Was
follow
it?
him outside? That's kind of what he said.
Does he say that? No.
Yeah, but you really stopped talking to me about this stuff because you didn't want me going into the survey corps, isn't that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
so it's kind of like to protect Armin.
Can I
So
just say
now
I'd like to ship Eren and Amrin together. They'd make a very cute couple.
I really like their friendship though. Like it's very
Yeah.
pure.
Yeah. It's very innocent in
Yeah,
like a world kind of filled with no innocence. Is that the right way to put it?
yeah. Like there's a lot of growing up that has to be done,
Yeah.
but I think Armin and Aaron's friendship has always been quite like untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. It's very cute.
yeah.
Also, can I point out Eren is hallucinating himself as a child? He's
Is he?
he's seeing Armin. Yeah. If you look at Eren's hair, like his facial features, they're like closer to chapter 1 facial features, and Armin especially is like much easier to tell.
Mm.
It's Armin as a kid because his hair is slightly shorter.
So it's like a regression to a time
Yeah.
when they were all kids,
Yep.
which I feel like makes sense. Like you go back to like that sense of comfort that you know. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
especially because you see Mikasa as well in the background of when he says it's because I was born in this world, and it's Mikasa with long hair when she was a kid.
That's true. But yeah, so Armin wants to know why, like, like basically, Armin knows that Eren's been like, kind of not been talking about those dreams to protect him. So now he kind of know
Mm.
he wants to know why, he does have these dreams, and it's the whole thing that you're saying. Like Eren says that I was born into this world. Um, before we get into the actual sentence of like what that actually means, because I know you have like that one rendition, like you have that one perspective of it. I just find this panel really interesting. I don't know if it's just me, but
Mm-hmm.
when Eren shouts like this thing, like, it's because I was born into this world, and the background is the family in the house, right? Like, so his parents
Yep.
and Mikasa. It, at least in this snapshot, it seems to me that, like, when he raised his voice, Mikasa and his mom like reacts, but his dad doesn't.
That's true.
So
That is true.
that's the detail that I noticed when I first read this like a week ago. That I was like, that's slightly strange. But again, I have no clue why that's. I don't know why that is.
Can I also say, I I don't know if this has any implications. You're the English literature person here.
Yep.
Mikasa and Carla don't have eyes in his vision.
True. This his dad. That's his.
His dad does. You can see his dad's glasses and like the sunken and like eye, his eye holes.
Yeah, like
um,
the shadow, like where it should be.
yeah, but Mikasa's eyes are like shaded over, like there's like striations on it, and then Carla straight up doesn't have eyes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's just like an artistic choice or
Surely not, right?
I don't. I really don't know.
I'm trying to like go back to like previous chapter to see if we saw anything um in the last chapter, but anyways, please go on. I'm just gonna quickly look at this in the
But
meantime.
yeah, I know that you kind of perceived that I was born into this world as kind of like I'm the main character. I was born like this. I was born this way, Lady Gaga.
Mm.
This is me moment. Yeah, I kind of registered that sentence as like that whole recurring theme about captivity and being like a en- encaged animal
Mm.
and kind of like yeah, like later on in the chapter when Armin asks like, why do you want to go to the outside world? And he has kind of this monologue where he talks about how he believes that as soon as any person is born, they are considered free. So anyone
Yep.
who feels like they have to stay behind the walls are basically kind of rejecting, like outright rejecting their freedom. So
Yep.
I feel like that kind of explains why he has this such strong willingness to go outside because
Yep.
it's kind of like it's almost like he's saying it's like a god-given right that he should.
Mm.
Does that make sense? And that's what he was saying about he was born to this world, like therefore he should have that um opportunity to.
Yes. Yes. I get what you mean. I don't mean to make light of the situation, but this really, really reminds me of this one clip of someone. I think they're doing like an Eren. It's like an Eren Freedom copy pasta, and it's just like a whole like 30 seconds of Eren being mad that French fries aren't called freedom fries, and
Oh yeah, you mentioned
that
this in like our episode 0.
yeah. No, episode 1, I think I mentioned it.
Oh yeah,
This is like
maybe,
the
yeah.
perfect time to bring it up. He gets mad at dogs for wearing collars because they don't fight for their freedom.
Yeah, I think
um,
at its core, like on a meme level, Aaron is just like anything that bars my freedom, fuck
yeah,
that.
exactly, and I love that. He's a man who knows what he wants.
he's like he's like taking free spirit to like the next level. But yeah,
Anyways,
so we see like when Aaron reaches this realization, like, oh, I was born to this world, I deserve this freedom, and I should like go for it. Um, and not let anything stop me. We see him actually regain his agency of his like titan body. And
yes,
it's just in time because like the squads are being asked to retreat basically, right? Because they've technically failed now. But when they see like Aaron carrying the boulder to block the hole in the wall, this kind of like brings this like it's so like motivating. Like it's
yeah,
like this newfound hope. that yes, maybe we can do something about this. Yeah, so instead of fleeing, everyone kind of rushes to defend Eren while he's
Yeah.
doing his part.
Also, sorry, Aaron
Yeah.
carrying the boulder. It reminds. Have you seen the Sisyphus meme
Yes, I have seen this.
where it's Sisyphus is just rolling a rock and it's that guitar? I the first time I saw this image, that guitar strum started playing in my head. I kid you not. I was so pissed. But it's like the it's that exact meme.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
Also, on a more serious note, I do want to say it's really interesting how Eren regaining control of his Titan is signified by his head regenerating specifically. Last episode, we kind of talked about, well, I kind of said that Eren, or like Eren's role within the Titan body is kind of being like the passage between the brain and the spinal cord. Like
Yeah.
that's his.
Yeah.
That's why he's placed where he is at the back of the neck. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting that the Titan's control being given back to Eren instead of just like lying there is very much signified by Eren regenerating his head, and that's when he gets up.
It's almost like they need a life force, which again I feel like is actually this is perfect timing for it because I do have a discussion about this. Not only does he get to regenerate, but when Eren has full control of the Titan form, he is like we see him like actually perceiving like Mikasa, Armin, like wondering why they're there and they should escape. So it's quite clear that he's capable of like his own mental functions, like recognizing people that he knows, but also having like empathy and care for them. But at the same time, like while on a physical level he's capable of doing the Titan thing, which is to regenerate, but inside, like pain receptor wise, it's clear like he like his maybe human body per se is like taking a physical toll. Or maybe it's his Titan body and he's like registering it.
Like it's a separate sort of perception. Yeah. Um, I also just thought of this just now as you were kind of saying. What if, like him becoming a Titan has like the quote unquote Titan brain, if you will, and then, when his head's kind of smashed in by himself and he regenerates, it's like a quote unquote human brain because now it's Eren in control and not the Titan in control.
Oh, so it's kind of like when regeneration is possible and it's being channeled through Eren when he's in the body in
Mm.
control, then it becomes more human rather than Titan.
Yeah, like it's like there's like two entities fighting for control, and because Eren managed to like kind of blow up the skull of the Titan himself, he was able to um, take control at least temporarily over the Titan, and that's why he
Mm.
attacked Mikasa first because the Titan took control.
I like that. Which also I feel like it's this is another great segue into my actual like honestly my one main theory, I feel. Like my one
This was not
solid
planned.
theory.
This was not
Yeah,
planned.
literally. I'm quite surprised that this has segued really nicely. Um it's when you mentioned like entities fighting each other and I was like
Mm-hmm.
considering like are Titans even like their own entity? So basically from this interaction, right? Like when like basically the moments like after that the moments that we see right after Eren gains consciousness in the Titan body. Kind of
Yep.
like I was asking myself, could Titans actually be like what we said, like where they're just vessels that humans could initially like fuse to, or maybe in Eren's case, like even create. Just that over
Yep.
time, if it's not like sustainable anymore for the human body to
Yeah.
sustain itself like the human body, then
Yep.
maybe especially with the heat component that comes with being
Mm-hmm.
in the Titan body, like maybe they're essentially like literally almost burning themselves up, using themselves as as fuel, and then when they get used up but not disconnect from the Titan body, they kind of become like zombies.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's that. Yeah, that's really interesting because okay, this segues into something I wanted to talk about as well.
Okay, wait, can I say a final comment
Yes, yes,
then?
please.
Yes,
Go
yes.
on.
So like yeah, so it's almost like maybe like what you said, like the human brain and the Titan brain. There could be a fight there, but the human brain, once it's fused, takes precedence. But then when the human body can no longer cope, it's more of just like maybe there's no brain. I don't know. Like
It's kind of giving like in Bleach how like, you know, when Ichigo uses his hollow mask, the more he uses it, the more hollow he becomes slowly.
yes,
That's kind of what it sounds like.
or
Is
even
that what you're
like the
trying to get
part
at?
where he gets like the chain, his chain of fate. Is it chain of fate? Like
Mm.
cut,
Like the
and then it like
yes,
once the
yes,
hole
yes,
in
yes.
his soul like materializes completely, like he becomes a hollow. Like it's almost that kind of vibe, basically.
Yeah, yeah, I get what you mean. Like they're kind of like the battery for the Titan,
Mm.
and when the battery runs out, they lose their sense of self. Of kind of
Which is why
is that is
biologically they could make sense. And we'll get to
that's
that.
true.
We learn more about them biologically. We learned that they don't have buttholes for a reason. We don't have they definitely don't have buttholes.
That's true. I saw that part and I knew you would bring it up. I am so glad I
I have a dot point that just says in my notes no buttholes.
did. I'm not kidding. I genuinely have the same dot point. I've just written somewhere Titans don't have buttholes. Sad face.
Really, I was just in full caps, just like no buttholes. But yes, please go on.
I'm really glad you kind of mentioned this idea of like the fever being related to their body.
Yep.
So recently, as I said last episode, I've been learning neuroscience a bit, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the parts we're kind of learning about right now is sort of related to like the body's response to certain stimuli like viruses and bacteria. The
Yep.
burning up. So when Armin, you
Oh, I
know,
know where you're going.
cuts Eren out of it, he has a really high fever, right? And they kind of mentioned this previously as well. He has a really high fever when they cut him out the first time when he becomes a Titan.
Yeah.
And so I guess like what I'm trying to say is Eren's kind of like being treated like a bacteria or a virus within the Titan, which kind of goes back to the idea of like the Titan entity or the Titan consciousness fighting with Eren's consciousness
Yeah.
to see which gets to control the body, and like Eren's is being treated as an outsider within the Titan body.
It would be really interesting if the whole heat aspect that we've seen so far with Titans is actually like an immune response.
That would be,
That would
yeah, I
be
think it'd be really detailed and completely unexpected for a manga to go that deep, like talking about, yeah, like virology and
that would be very cool
immunology.
actually if we find out that that's right. Especially the whole evaporating thing.
Yeah, I'm still not sure what they're evaporating because we learned they don't have a digestive tract, so they puke shit out.
Yes.
So, so what are they evaporating? There's nothing in their body to burn.
Yeah, they're not there's no intake of nutrients.
Which brings me to another question, but I will ask that when we get to that part because I feel we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Wait, that's for like the later chapters. Oh wait, I kind of already touched this, but yeah, continuation of Eren's motivations to see the outside world.
Yes.
Basically, detesting people who are resigned to stay within the walls because he believes in personal freedom when they're born, and it doesn't matter kind of like how steep the obstacles are that get in the way of that. Essentially, he's saying, like in a really long-winded and convoluted way, you always have a choice is basically what he's saying. And I think this is just like in a from a literary sense, if you're like the reader
Mm-hmm.
reading this manga, it's quite an inspiring message to say the least. You know? Like I
Yes.
actually found
Yes.
myself quite
Mm-hmm.
inspired by that. Surprisingly.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I would like to posit this. The way Eren says he's kind of implying while there are two choices, there's only one correct choice, if
Yes.
you will.
I see the problem with that as well.
Because all he says is, doesn't matter how cruel the world is, fight. That's so, you know, he keeps on repeating fight mentally. So there are two
Yeah.
choices, but he very clearly believes there's only one right choice.
Yes, there's I know what you mean. Like when he keeps repeating fight, it could be like make sure that you are giving yourself the chance to make that choice. Or
Yeah.
it could also just be fight, do this.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really up to interpretation there.
Yeah, like on the one hand, it can be taken as fight or flight is what he's trying to get at. Or the other way, which is how I see it, he's trying to say it's like you either fight or you run away like a bitch. Um
Which is quite ironic because I think there's a part where he talks about running away, but that's for later.
that's why I said this volume's very feast or famine. The
Yeah.
parts that are really good and theorizable are bountiful, but the parts that are kind of low are really low in terms of theory.
Yeah. I think there's gonna be a lot of jumping around because there's so obviously like such a development in his views and like the views of different characters as well.
Yeah.
That's obvious, even though it's been like a relatively short 2 years. But yes, we'll get to that again. Anyways, Eren succeeds in his mission to block the breach in the wall, and and like to quote the manga, it's the human race having won its first victory, which is quite cool.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
It really is, and we see Armin and Mikasa struggling to cut Eren out from the Titan's body, and like yeah, like you said, he has a fever and everything, and he kind of looks like shit basically. And then guess who comes in suddenly? They're saved by Captain Levi wearing the wings of freedom.
Actually, it's Sergeant Colonel Captain Levi.
Oh hell no, Captain Levi is all he gets.
Yeah, we get Levi absolutely aura farming,
Literally.
which was great. Yeah, you know what? Lately, I've been using a lot of brain rot terms, and I think it's really funny to let people think that I'm big on brain rot. So I'm just gonna like
What do you mean think? I think you are.
I I am not. Look, okay, I am not
Uh-huh.
as far gone.
How many memes have you brought up
Okay,
today?
look, that's not brain rot, all right? That's culture. That's internet culture.
No, but it implies how much brain rot you may be exposed to
No,
if you know all
look,
these memes off the top of your head.
no. Okay, look. The memes just prove that I'm part of the fandom, and I have been a part of the fandom for a while. The
So you're chronically online.
Yeah, I'm not denying that.
Okay, therefore you're probably more exposed to brain rot.
However, I
Uh-huh.
would just like to say that I am not chronically online on TikTok, which is where most of the brain rot comes from.
Nice.
Before we go into chapter 15, I need to talk about why I was looking at becoming a structural engineer today.
Oh yes, please. I'm dying to know actually.
Okay, so just before this chapter ends, we kind of see a shot of the other side of the wall that Eren's plugged up with the big boulder.
Yeah.
And I guess something I never really realized is like how much damage the colossal titan did to the wall. Because if you see, like, he kicked the wall, right? But the damage to the wall goes up like well past halfway, which is,
Like it's genuinely terrifying.
yeah, and it's kind of insane considering the fact that whenever we see the colossal titan, it's only his head peeking over the wall, right?
Yeah.
So the damage is like over 25 meters up the wall, like over halfway. So how far his leg must have like its leg, sorry, I don't know the gender. I'm assuming it's a he. Like how far would the leg have
Big
gone?
chungus?
Yeah, Big Chungus. How far would Big Chungus have had to like kick to get that much damage? Which brings me to my first point I want to discuss with you.
Yeah.
I guess we sort of talked about this previously, but it's almost like these anomalous titans are kind of like specially built for their task. If that makes sense.
Yes.
So like,
Yeah, like they have specific qualities
right?
about them that make them stand out.
Yeah, and I guess I just never realized. In like the chapter they show the colossal titan kind of kicking in. His feet are literally like fucking clubs of meat with like a couple toes sticking out, design wise.
Really?
Yeah, they're like big ass cylinders he stands on with like a couple toes popping out, which is super interesting because that's kind of like the first time we see that extent of like morphing human body.
Do titans not have toes?
They have toes, but usually their feet are like human feet. They kind of like got the little.
Oh, so now it's more of like morphed into something more.
Yeah, it's morphed into like a club, into a massive
Okay,
club,
interesting. I
which.
did not pick up on that, but that if this might be implying that these titans specifically are artificial. I don't know how.
Right? That was my first thought as well. They're like purpose built
Yeah.
for this.
You know what would be insane? If like we find out that some of these titans are being like made by like people from the inner wall.
That's the thank you for bringing up the inner wall. I'm so glad you did.
We're gonna talk so much about the inner wall in like in the next chapters, but yeah. Like
Yes. So something I want to say, if you so the last page, so page 46 of chapter 14, if you zoom in on the damage they show from the outside, there's no internal support or scaffolding for this big of a building to be standing up by itself at all. Like, yes, it's dark, but it's implying you can see deep within it and there's absolutely no internal scaffolding.
how does that work?
That's what I'm saying. How does it work? Because, so,
Are you sure that's not just Oh, I know what you mean. Like it's a hollow
yeah, it's completely hollow on the inside.
especially because like there's weapons and stuff and people run on the top.
That's what I'm saying. It's so weird. Like, how is this physically possible? Because, okay, look at it this way, right? We don't see any bricks or anything, so it's kind of implied that the walls are made with something like cement or concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen many buildings, but usually cement and concrete, even when you're laying it into the slab, like as a slab for a house, you reinforce it with iron bars, like rebars. You place rebars in to keep structural integrity, because otherwise cement and concrete crack, and there's absolutely no sign of that anywhere.
Are those not bars there?
Like this
Like on the
stuff.
sides?
Sorry, I'm just pointing it.
Yeah.
No, that those are like walls going in. They're like floors. They're not bars of any kind. They're just different levels on the inside.
Okay. If this is some whole conspiracy run by the central people,
By the big government.
right? Like
That's what I'm saying, right? Like it's and you know what? Indulge me a bit more. Speaking of the big government, actually getting to it, I want to question the story we've been told about humanity, right? So the narrative we have right now is 107 years ago, humanity was on the brink of extinction. The king built these walls to protect humanity, and that's how we're here today. If the king built walls to protect humanity, did the king have cement 100 years ago? Did this motherfucker have like cement mixes just on the standby as humanity was being eaten alive? Because you'd assume 100 years ago they were probably building with like stone or like bricks at least, right?
it's kind of hard to say, like, I know that technically we were discussing how realistically, like, based on like the architecture and the technology, it looks more like 1800s, which wouldn't
Yes.
make sense considering they've built stuff out of cement and brick. But also, I don't know if this is kind of just like the dystopian.
Yeah, so like, okay, assuming they have 1800s had brick and grout. I know that. So let's say 1800s even has cement and concrete and rebar and everything needed. What I want to know is how did the king manage to build a smooth wall? So from the picture we see, there's no internal wall, right?
Yeah.
You'd assume if humanity's on the brink of extinction, the king would begin by putting up a little wall that's kind of like your temporary wall and then build a bigger wall over it, like slowly layering it up
Mm.
to be bigger and bigger to protect humanity better from Titans.
Yep.
So what I'm trying to ask is, how did he manage to like magically prop up these three sets of walls to save humanity while humanity was actively being hunted?
Honestly, I've always had that question. Like, how do you even construct these walls, considering like if the whole area was overrun with titans? I don't have a
Right?
clue how they did that. Maybe it's like the population banded enough to do it quickly enough. I have no clue actually. Or maybe this is just like an area that was not yet run overrun by titans, and then they were able to do all of this, but they had to do it quickly. I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, okay, even if it was bricks, even if it was cement, I'm not asking if they had the technology or not. Sure, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. What I'm trying to ask is, grout, the stuff that you put between bricks, or cement, or concrete, they all need time to dry up and solidify.
Yeah.
And I've done a bit of concreting myself, right? In like the backyard and stuff. That shit took over a day and it was like not even a square meter of concrete that I poured.
That's fair.
So how, because we know that titans are attracted to humans, which by the way is another thing I want to ask about later. But if titans are attracted to humans, how did the humans have enough time to set up these walls with whatever materials they did? Because you still need some time for the materials to set and solidify. And like, why was it not done before 107 years ago? Like, did humanity just not think about it? Like, hey, maybe we should put a big wall so the big things can't come inside. Anyways, that's my crazy conspiracy theory.
Okay, so chapter 15. Yeah, so this is set 2 years after fall of Maria, year 847, and so also 3 years before whatever's happening right now in the present time.
Also, new font.
Is it?
It's a new font.
I, f- I feel like they've used this one before. No?
Have they?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I think they've
The gradient slider.
maybe, but I feel like they've used this shiny font before. Like
Okay,
maybe, but maybe that's just
if you say
maybe
so.
that's just the edition I'm looking at. I don't know. Maybe it's blurry or something.
I'll. We can confirm this by next episode.
Yeah. So we see some military brigade officers, I feel. Yeah, arguing about how the
Mm-hmm.
farmland near them isn't being cultivated in time since the winter's already set. And we see that the laborers that they're
Mm.
talking about is actually the fucking trio. like we've got farmers over here. We've got farmer Armin and Mikasa and Eren here. Um who are working with apparently I think it's the is it the older people, the elderly and the children are being
Yes.
made to cultivate the land. Um and this is another great discussion point here when we were talking previously about not just in this episode but in previous episodes, kind of like
Mm-hmm.
what the role of the military brigade is,
Yes.
considering they're supposed to be highly skilled people.
Yeah.
So apparently, there's these things called recovery missions, which allegedly refer to intentional killings to ensure that there's enough food to go around, basically.
I guess that sort of answers our question of population control
Yeah,
within the walls.
like there had to be some sort of like way for them to avoid overpopulation, considering they can't technically expand.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we
Yeah.
find out that Armin's parents were among those people, which is why he has like a lot of rage towards towards the military brigade.
Yeah.
And this is like a theme that I want to discuss later on, but basically the idea this idea gets like brought up over and over again, like later on in the other chapters. But the idea that the military police are supposed to consist of the best, like the most skilled soldiers, yet are drafted to posts where they'll likely never have to fight directly with a titan,
Yeah.
is quite interesting to
Yeah, that's
consider.
true. That is. I think Eren also mentions this in this chapter itself, which is pretty cool.
We'll get to that point in a minute, longer than a minute, but yeah.
I would also like to say, there's a baldy alert. We have a baldy alert in chapter 15.
Baldy alert.
We have a new
I know.
bald
Why are
man.
all these bald men so
Yeah.
scary? What happened to nice bald men? Oh, do you know the TikTok sound? He's bald. He's bald and he's torturing people who have hair. You know that one?
As I said previously, I am not on TikTok very much. No, I don't know that. I think that fits this guy. That does fit this guy. He's bald and he's torturing.
He literally is torturing people with
That's
hair.
true.
Honestly, he's kind of funny. I'm not gonna
That's true.
lie. This training
Does
officer.
he have? I think I know his name, but I don't want to say it in case it's not revealed yet.
They haven't. I don't think it ever got mentioned.
I'm just gonna call him Baldy 2 after Pixis is Baldy 1.
Baldy, Baldy too.
Yeah. So Pixis is Baldy, and then this guy is Baldy 2.
Baldy too. Okay. He's a training baldy. Okay.
I like how in the first thing he says is "Hey maggot," and then says "What's your name, maggot?" It's giving. I mean, I know he's like a drill sergeant or something, but I like that. It's kind of funny. It's very fitting for Armin as well. I like how he interrogates Armin over his name. He's like, "Is that right? What a dumb name. Your parents give it to you," and he just goes like, "My grandfather did, sir." Poor guy.
Actually, yeah, he's just giving Armin a hard time basically, and yeah. So this is the part. This is kind of like a cut in the chapter where we see the trio and the other recruits, is it Jean? John.
I'm gonna call him Gene.
Jean.
Denim jeans.
Yep, and basically they've started training and they're being interrogated by the training baldy and they're questioned about their motives for joining. It's quite interesting to say like how different characters respond to that. Like Armin saying that he wants to be useful, Jean being a little bitch, like I wanna go to the inner wall, I wanna be safe, which I mean makes sense to be fair. I guess.
Gene's such an L. I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
And
I
oh
don't
my god,
like it.
I love that Sasha's just fucking eating.
Yes, yes. Oh my god, yes. This is the reason I absolutely adore Sasha as a character. She's so real for that.
Like he's like why is like training Baldy full on grabbing someone by the hair and like he
Yeah.
looks over and Sasha's just like chowing down on a potato.
Yeah, it's such a power move to like lift up Connie by the fucking skull. He's like a little basketball.
And I love that she starts eating quicker, I think.
Yeah. She eats it quicker and then decides to give him half and looks so pleased with herself.
Yeah, she looks so happy. She's like, "You want?" She looks so relieved because she was like, "Oh, he probably just wanted some of my food." I love her
She's
so
so real
much.
for that.
Um, yep.
She's so
She's so
funny. I hope she
silly.
doesn't go bald.
Literally, like you're so funny. Please don't go bald. Exactly.
Yeah, that's me with Sasha right now.
And yeah, well, unfortunately, she gets punished. She gets told to run until she basically dies, and then but she didn't die, guys. Don't worry. And we see like the other recruits kind of like winding down. It's like towards evening time,
Yeah.
and the other people find out that Eren witnessed kind of the attack 2 years prior with Big Chungus and the armored titan as well, and he gets interrogated about it, and Eren almost like I don't know if he gags or something, but he kind of like has a physical reaction from the memories,
Yeah.
and yeah.
It's very peculiar because he says it's not because he was like scared about the memories or anything.
Yeah, like I don't know what that was, but yeah, who knows? And well, I mean to be fair, if we're talking about memories, it could be like,
That's
his
true.
brain.
Can I just say the way he kind of reacts to like saying like, oh, it's not because of painful memories. The way he rips the bread, it kind of it's very like reminiscent of like how the Titans kind of rip humans as they're chewing them up. Like it's
Oh,
kind of like that's kind of what it reminded me of. I'm not sure why, but it's a very peculiar thing to show right after him, right before him saying Titans are no big deal.
maybe it's kind of like a foreshadowing that he's,
True.
well, not that he eats like humans, but kind of like typical Thailand behavior. But yeah, that's a good pickup.
Yeah.
And that's the point where he's saying like, yeah, Titans are no big deal, and he kind of declares his ultimate goal, which is to join Survey Corps,
Yep.
destroy Titans, and then Jean. We learned that Jean's just a little bitch, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, so he's kind of just questioning everything. And okay, I don't know what this means, but they kind of have like a standoff, right? Jean
Yep.
and then Eren leaves with Mikasa, and then he's watching Mikasa and Eren talk. And basically Connie comes out, right? And like Jean's like wiping his hand on Connie's shirt to wipe off his quote unquote faith in humanity. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I think I have an explanation.
What does that mean? Okay, go on.
So here's how I understood it. Jean has a massive crush on Mikasa.
Really?
That's
Because of
how
the
I
whole
see.
hair comment? Like, oh,
Yeah,
you have pretty hair.
yeah.
Which
Like
is creepy, by the way.
it's really creepy and it's giving like incel, but I think he has a
Uh,
crush on her, right? And the whole comment about
yeah.
wiping my faith in humanity, his character so far is very much if I work hard enough, I'll get to a point where I don't need to work harder. Because he wants to be the
Oh,
best in class so that he can apply to military police brigade and have an easy life on the inside, right?
yeah.
So his faith in humanity is the fact that if he is like powerful enough, he'll never have to do anything and he'll get whatever he wants. So he wanted Mikasa, but Eren, who's not doing everything and is kind of like a screw up technically so far, is friends with
Mm,
Mikasa to the
mm.
point that he's kind of rustling Mikasa's hair and like telling her, "Oh, you should cut it," which pisses Jean off because he liked that hair.
Oh, yeah, he did say that he liked the hair. So Jean's just a yearner?
Jean's an incel. He's a Reddit mod.
Gosh. Okay. Well, that. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. Mikasa's like the ABG of, of like
What's
an
an ABG?
Asian baby girl, like the baddies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Mikasa's just an
Okay.
ABG.
I mean,
If
Mikasa's
if
an
you were
ABG.
in the
That's
army
what I'm
and you
coming
were
out of
training
chapter
with an
13.
ABG and you were a single man, I reckon.
To be fair, to be fair, she is technically like a foreigner
True.
because even in the past volumes, the kidnappers kind of mentioned it's like, oh, I've never seen an Oriental person before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she is. It's not like there are many people who look like her in this
Yeah.
world.
But yeah, he is really creepy. Loki.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Um,
does. Does he rustle his hair? Never mind. Whatever.
yeah. So Aaron rustles her hair, and it's like, oh, you should cut this short. It's like it's gonna get it. It could get in vertical maneuvering accident. And she's like, yeah, I know, I'll cut it. How short do you think it should be?
Oh, okay.
She's such a simp. I love her.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, she is such a simp. Loki, she really is though. Um
Yeah, I approve. I approve. Go get what you want, lady.
yeah, literally. Oh, and then we also see Sasha coming back from her punishment. And it's so sad though. Like we find out like why she's always captured with these foods, and it's because like she used to live in a like a small village in the mountains, and she just wanted to
Mm.
like when she left that place and got here, she just wants to eat new and delicious food and just try everything. It's so sad.
Mm.
Like that's probably the
Poor
first
girl.
potato she's tried.
You know her jumping for the bread that Chris is offering her? She straight up looks like a titan in that one frame.
Was that her?
Like
Oh
the
my
manga
god, that
panel.
was her. I thought
That's
someone came at her like that. But Yeah.
No, that's Sasha, like realizing there's food nearby and she goes
Jesus.
into like her
If
hunger.
any
She's so real for
if anyone else turns into a Titan, it's gonna be Sasha. I swear to God.
that.
Um but
Yeah.
yeah, it's Annie who provides food and offers water, right?
No, it's
Oh,
Krista.
is it Krista?
Annie's the other
Oh yeah,
one. Yes,
Annie
Annie's
looks more
someone else.
depressed. Yeah. Saved by
Yeah,
Krista.
Krista's like the happy Annie.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Krista. You're right. Okay. And
Also, who's this other person
I
with
I
Krista?
don't know the name, but he's also like okay a little bitch.
Me neither. Is it he?
Yeah, I think so. A
I thought it
day.
was a she because of the
Oh yeah,
hair.
you're right actually. A day.
They.
Um
Um, I don't trust them. They look kind of sus.
yeah,
They're like,
this
oh,
person.
I'm doing this to get a favor out of it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna discuss about. Like these flashbacks really give us a lot more insight to the mindsets and the ideologies of the different, secondary characters. So
Yeah,
like we see Krista doing a good deed to be thought of as helpful, but this other person kind of doing it to potentially exploit Sasha later on. Like it's quite interesting to say the least.
it kind of reminds me of that whole like talk Pixis had with Eren before the trust event, where he says that like if people don't have like a big enemy, like a big adversary to face off with, they're just gonna fight within themselves.
Yeah,
So, that's what I'm reminded of. Like they're just using each other for their own
and
benefits.
I know what you mean. Like there's no physical fighting yet, but there is
Yes.
definitely so like these transactional shifts that you
Yeah.
can notice for sure. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
bordering on like we're just being civil, and if anything
Yeah.
happens, it would be civil after that.
This reminds me of Fushiguro from JJK, like a younger
Ooh,
Fushiguro. I don't know
which one? The
if
person?
um sorry?
The person we don't know.
No. This like concept. Yeah, the person kind of reminds me of like something Fushiguro says at JJK. He like talks about like society works off of the simple concept of I won't kill you if you don't kill me,
Hmm.
or and that we'll follow this set of rules so that we both can survive. That's what this person reminds me of. Like they see the world as just like one big
Yeah, for sure.
transactional. I like the nickname Potato Girl though. That's such a
Potato
fitting
girl.
nickname.
Yeah. If I was ever in AOT in another life, I definitely would have been Sasha Loki.
Yeah, I feel I'd okay. Full transparency, I'd probably be fucking Daz from previous volume, just shitting myself. I don't want to die.
Oh
That's
my
gonna be
gosh.
me.
Mm.
But go on. Sorry, I know I shouldn't interrupt.
No, you're not interrupting. Don't worry. Um. Okay. So we go on to the next chapter called Necessity. Oh
Yep.
wait, no, we not yet, not yet. Before we do
You
that,
forgot a little bit.
yeah, it's the next day, and basically the recruits are having an aptitude test by trying out this equipment that's supposed to be like the foundations to, carrying out vertical maneuvering. Basically, get this wrong, you're done, right?
Yeah.
um, and everyone's having a go with it. Everyone's going more or less fine, but Eren fails? Question mark? Question mark? And that's how that chapter
Yeah.
ends, which is
I,
quite
I
insane.
like Baldy too. Is like, what are you doing, Eren Yeager? Write yourself.
It's
He's
like,
so dramatic.
what is the meaning of this? I know he's so bald and torturous.
He's so bold.
He's so bald and torturous.
That's so mean.
He's mean.
Yeah, but like he sounds genuinely upset that Eren wasn't upright. He's like, "What are you doing, Eren Yeager? Write yourself."
Yeah.
If if he was given like even 5 more seconds of screen time, he'd probably say Eren's full government name. He's like Eren. Eraniel Jaegerin.
Eraniel,
Yeah, that's what I'm making it. Like Nathaniel, but
or
Eraniel.
or like Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus Jaeger, write yourself this instant, young man.
Where the hell? Where was I going with that one?
We're at the start of chapter 16.
Yes, it's called necessity. Um, and yeah, we see Mikasa and Armin helping Eren train for a second
Yeah,
shot of the vertical maneuvering aptitude test. But while he's using the equipment, he flips and basically kind of fucking hits his head hard on the ground, kind of like basically he gets like a really bad head injury, right?
yeah,
um, and at dinner there are whispers about how Eren's kind of like everyone's seen Eren fail the vertical maneuvering. We see him getting injured trying again. So there's like a lot of snarky remarks about how he basically he talked the big talk. He was gonna wipe out the
yeah,
Titans, but he couldn't even pass like the first aptitude test, which kind of
yeah,
dampens Eren's mood. And Mikasa tries to comfort him, but like saying that it's fine, there's other ways to contribute to the society. But Eren responds that he has the resolve. Basically, he was like, if I want it, I can get it. But Mikasa's like,
yeah.
hold on, it is not you who will decide if you pass or not. And Eren kind of like was like, yep, I know. Like, I don't know.
You know what? It kind of reminds me, like the way Mikasa says it's like the same kind of protectiveness that Eren shows to Armin, where like he stopped talking about the outside world because he didn't want Armin in danger. And the way Mikasa's talking about it, it's kind of like she doesn't want Eren in danger.
That's, yeah, I can definitely see that parallel. Like, at the end of the day, they're kind of just like a group of friends looking out for each other. It's really cute.
Yeah, they're pretty much all the family they have left, anyways. So it makes sense they would be so protective over one another.
That's true. All their parents are gone, technically.
Yeah, like Grisha's missing. Armin's parents were lost in a recovery mission. Carla we saw die. Mikasa lost both her family, both her parents early on.
Yeah, so
So they're
essentially,
pretty much all they have.
yeah, essentially they're family. They are family. And I
Yeah.
love that Sasha gets another fucking like comedic scene in this somehow. Like she's asking Mikasa for food and then Mikasa's just like offering it just to eat it herself.
She's so mean. Like, just give her the bread, bro. Like,
Sasha's
come
just here for
on.
the bread.
Yeah, it's like, why is Mikasa just hating on Sasha like that, dude?
Literally, Sasha, yeah. Look at Mikasa's mean
I
in
do
here, but
like
it's
the
fine.
quick swap out. I like the quick swap out between Eren and Sasha, and how it unironically took me like 2 seconds to notice that this is Sasha and not Eren.
Now I know, like she suddenly just popped out of nowhere. I was also so confused. Okay, so Aaron also asks for advice from like the different guys like Connie.
Yeah,
Is it Reiner? Rainer?
Rainer. Yeah,
Reiner? Is it not Reiner?
I don't know. I've been calling it Rainer. Rainer,
I
like
think it's
rains
Reiner.
on a.
Who
I don't know.
knows?
Whatever you like. Whatever you like.
Whatever. And how to
It's like Hans
ace.
and Hannes.
That's true. In order to ace the test, which doesn't really help, and Marco, right, is curious about why Armin and Aaron want to be soldiers when they themselves have seen Titans firsthand.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Wait, is that Marco?
I don't know if it's Marco or the other dude.
It's the other dude. It's not Marco.
I
The
forgot what
face is
his name
slightly
is.
different. They say it in like a couple
It
pages.
starts like
His
with
name's
B or something like that.
Bertolt. Bertolt.
Bertolt. Yeah, so Bertolt.
Also, I want to
And
say there's a lot of German names, which is a
what?
bit interesting. Like the names are German,
I
which is
mean,
kind of interesting. We spoke about this before as
didn't
well,
didn't
but
yeah, we've spoken about this where if it
yeah,
was like a country technically, this would be Iran. in Germany.
Germany. Yeah, European, probably.
Yeah.
But
And
there's a World War II relation because there's Japan involved as well.
yeah, that's true. If this was all like an elaborate like allegory for like or like metaphor for war and seeing other people as like the other and not humans, I would actually flip my shit.
That would be insane.
Like if this is
Can you
about
imagine?
war and invasion.
That that would unironically be like on the same level as the Lord of the Flies.
But I feel like it could be possible because I feel like they're already setting up for Titans to be somewhat human in nature. We've always talked about this almost every episode. They're too human like to not be human at all. Um so yeah, whatever the explanation is, it could be if we were to apply it to real world scenarios, it could be
Mm,
um
that's
a
true.
metaphor for war, which could be interesting. Could be interesting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So something I do find really interesting, just a couple of things to note. So Reiner is like really weirdly cagey when talking to Eren. At first, for this whole interaction, he's like, "Oh, sorry, I can't tell you. There's like no tricks to it. You just need to dangle there." And Bertolt asks Eren about the story, and then like Bertolt also shares his story. And the first thing Reiner says is like, "Geez, why did you have to talk about that?" Which is like, why is Reiner so cagey about it?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it could just be like a defensive thing where it's like, I don't want to talk about something traumatic that's happened to me.
yeah, and also Bertolt like compares Eren and Armin to the other guys in the area, saying that Eren and Armin are kind of different for like seeing Titans up close. But
Because they themselves have seen Titans, right?
yeah, that's what I want to ask. So like if you're like saying like, "Oh, you're like me, you've seen Titans up close." Wouldn't you say instead of "you guys are different from them," wouldn't you rather say something like, you guys are just like us because we've seen Titans up close."
I think I this is literally what I was going to. Honestly, we're on a roll today. Like, this is literally what I wanted to discuss as well. Because I like the speech that the guy gives here. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
Bartol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bertolt.
Bertolt. And it's kind of like allowing us to see that majority of the trainees here, like, literally have no business being here. Like, they have not, like, they have never, like, seen a Titan,
Mm.
you know? And many of those who have just like Reiner and Bertolt would like choose to go as far away as possible from that. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like looking at that thing about like as a soldier to as a soldier in training, if you're choosing between self-preservation or your sense of duty, that's kind of I think that's kind of what they're touching on here, and that's what sets them apart here.
But then Bertolt almost immediately contradicts himself.
How so?
Um, because right after this he says, "I'm athletic, so I chose to be a soldier thinking I'd use my skill to become an elite MP." So he's still going for
Basically,
self-preservation
to be
after
the best of the best, right? But
to live a life on the inside.
to be good, to be useful, but to be useful in a safe environment, basically, with no
Yeah, which
risk.
is just I'm just saying it's kind of like also he says something about like I've got no will on my of my own, which is like
Yeah,
what do you
like
mean you've
basically he
got no
doesn't
will of
have
your own?
that. I guess maybe on one hand it could be like to do something difficult, or but also it could be to do something like risky.
Yeah, it's just that the only reason I'm kind of pointing this out because like will is a really weird way to put it. Like it's kind of reminding me of like in the previous volume, when a lot of the older soldiers, when they were told to retake trust, they were like, We don't have a will of our own. We need to follow orders. It's kind of like that same idea that Bertolt doesn't have a will of his own. He has to like join the army. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. What's the point you're trying to make here?
All I'm trying to say is it's really weird that he keeps on saying like it's like, oh, we're different because we've seen Titans up close, but then he's also doing the same thing that most of the other people want, which is to live a life on the inside. He
Well,
says he's got no will of his own, but he's chosen his own path to become another soldier on the inside.
wasn't it him who mentions that like apparent that at some point everyone gets swept up into being a soldier?
Does he?
I think that was him.
Oh
So
yeah, he
maybe that's
does.
him
Yeah.
saying that like he's just like everyone. He ended up, going to training. But in the face of a titan, he too ran away.
That's true. I guess I didn't really realize that.
It's the next day, and there's a retake of the aptitude test that Eren was practicing for, and
Yep.
basically we know that if Eren fails, he essentially gets kicked out of the program, right? Because it's kind of like the basics, and what's the point if you
Yeah.
can't do this? And
Yep.
we see that there's like a lot of suspense. Eren gets on, he balances, but like just really briefly before again landing on his head. And Baldy over here, like, looks like really grim, but he suddenly tells like Eren to swap equipment to move to the next set of
Yeah.
equipment, and that's where they realize that actually the equipment that Eren's been using all along has been defective. So that
Yeah.
so so it wasn't actually his fault. He's got that main character plot armor like we expected.
But this does prove that Baldy too is not evil. He's a nice guy at heart.
I had a question. I wasn't really sure what Mikasa meant at the very end of this chapter, where it's kind of like his friend, like Aaron's friend saying like, "Look, Aaron's eyes are kind of like showing us that he's proven everyone wrong and he's deserving of being here." And then Mikasa saying no, they're wrong. That he's actually relieved that they won't be separated. Like, what does that mean?
I think it's because Mikasa was going to like obviously Mikasa's already passed the aptitude test, right? So she has no choice but to enroll into the army, like regardless of which kind of station she chooses. But it's kind of like Mikasa's always clung to Eren's side, and if Eren failed the aptitude test, he would have to go into like some other profession, and he wouldn't be able to enter the army. That's why.
Yeah, that's all I thought. But Mikasa said like in the previous scene that if Eren were to leave, she would too. So that's why I was like, oh, does that mean Mikasa never intended to leave?
I think it's more like she wouldn't have been given the choice to leave. Like how like in the army if you have to like sign a contract when you enroll. Maybe it's like that kind of situation where like because she's already passed, she's signed the contract. So she wouldn't be given a choice to leave even if she wanted to.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's how I saw it. But it's sweet. I guess it kind of shows that like it's not just like a one-sided thing. Like it's not just Mikasa that clings to Eren. They kind of cling to each other as like as like a little. I don't want to say family because that makes it sound weird because Mikasa clearly has like romantic feelings for him, but kind of like just support,
Yeah, clearly.
just like a support group. Like they both rely on each other heavily, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah, that is true. Like I really like the dynamic that they have. It, again, like Eren and just like Eren and Armin, like there's something very pure
Yeah.
there. So
Also, I want to know why does Baldy 2 know Eren's dad? Because he says, Grisha, today your son became a soldier. It, it,
that makes me so concerned about
right?
why they know each other. This training officer.
My conclusion from this is your theory that the internal police brigade is doing some kind of experiment on Titans and Grisha was connected to them. It feels like this is what it's hinting at,
Literally.
right?
Like definitely something there with like government, military, and Grisha for sure, 100%.
Yeah, literally 1984. And yes, chapter 16 is where we see Isayama kind of thanking Ukyo Kodachi and Kyomune Miwa. I'm really not sure what he's thanking them
Mm.
for. I think it's the write up for the vertical maneuvering equipment. But yes, that is something that I just wanted to say. That's where the rant at the start of the episode came out.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. Yep, so we're going to the penultimate chapter now called Delusions of Strength, which very fitting,
Yes.
very fitting chapter name. Um
Yeah.
we see, give me a second. We see like like the chapter starts off with like one-on-one close combat between Eren and, is it Reiner? Yep.
Yes.
And I found it really interesting in this part where it's kind of like Eren believes that soldiers don't fight people, and basically the quote that he says, right, is that
Yeah.
only a fool goes after an attacker barehanded, which means like what? Like I don't know if it's just because this is a
Mm,
society that fights titans, but like it feels a bit naive
I think,
to say,
yeah.
considering he knows about what happened with Armin's parents, like the recovery missions.
I just want to say it's really cute that they say, come on, this time you be the bad guy. It's kind of like they're almost playing
Yes, it's very.
when Aaron and Reiner kind of swap knives. And then right after that, they're like, it's not child's play.
Yeah, I was gonna literally mention that, like, like they're using wooden. They're basically play fighting,
Yeah.
but Eren says it's not child's play, which is quite the audacity to say that after the flashback to when he killed Mikasa's abductors.
Yeah. Not to mention after the fact that they're literally saying, you be the bad guy this time.
Yeah, like you guys aren't pretending right now.
Yeah. And then I find it really weird that Reiner gives him this big ass like rant or ramble about like what it means to be a soldier. Like, what is this dude on about?
Yeah, like I feel like being displaced the way he did, like in the previous chapter, like seeing the Titan and not being given a heads up and then having to leave everything behind. I guess like he realizes that responsibility to, do better to protect people he knows or cares about. And he
Yeah.
no longer has that freedom to run. So I guess that's why he kind of had to mention it. Like, yes, this isn't like, this isn't play anymore. Like
Yeah.
I know we were saying the irony of that, but yeah, like for him,
Yeah.
like it's and other people here, it's kind of like realizing that they are learning to become soldiers now.
Yeah.
I also love that while he says that, he also like challenges Annie to a fight.
Yes.
Um
Yes. I do want to mention something. As soon as
yeah.
Annie squares up for that fight, does her pose remind you of something?
Oh my gosh, is it the Eren in his Titan form?
Yeah, it's Eren's Titan form when he goes into his fighting pose.
Yeah. So I guess that was taught by Annie,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was. That's such a interesting little, like, it's the exact same pose as well.
Yeah, it's the first. It's like the only time as of right now where we see a more like traditional or
Yes,
like like fighting pose
yeah.
so far.
It's also
So yeah, really cool.
it's also very specifically a kickboxing pose, which is a bit interesting.
Yeah. So Annie basically makes easy work of Reiner, and then some technicalities about having to actually take the wooden dagger from the opponent, which she does to Eren.
Yeah,
Basically, Reiner and Eren did not stand a chance, right?
yeah.
um,
They literally get
but I feel
flipped on
like
their ass.
yeah, literally. I feel like this, like introducing Annie into all of this and having her narrative was really cool though, because like we can kind of tell now that Eren as our main character like he has the spirit, 100%,
Mm.
like 100% has the spirit, but also like to an extent he's pretty like naive,
Yeah.
or like at the very least idealistic. Like he has all these things he wants to do and wants to achieve, but this, and like, like he has the grit, but not necessarily,
The capability.
you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you
Yeah.
mean. Also, I like that Annie almost sort of uh kind of resembles or parallels Mikasa in a lot of the ways. Like
Mm.
physical prowess, really quiet seemingly, and like she does her own thing. Well, okay, Mikasa doesn't really do her own thing, but you know what I mean, right? Like she's kind of like a second Mikasa, but if Mikasa was more selfish.
Yes, I know what you mean. But yeah, like it's interesting how you kind of get to the same, not same character, but almost like to the same demeanor of a person. But as we can tell from Annie's backstory, it's because of the hardships from her childhood.
Yeah,
Her father like forcefully teaching her how to fight like this. So it's kind of like a, it could be a nature versus nurture thing.
yeah,
Like, you know. Um Oh, and I also like that Annie implores like Eren to kind of look at the attitudes of the different recruits like during this scene, where it's kind of like the people who are hoping to get to the military police brigade, like for them this training is kind of just like bullshit to them, right?
yeah.
And how she's kind of like, I'm not aiming to be a great soldier, I just want to the right. Basically, she just wants to be recognized as like worthy of
Mm.
being safe. So I guess there's also that kind of like, the only reason why a lot of people are exerting effort to do well in this program is because it's their only chance to prove to whoever, like to people with higher authority, that they're deserving of, like, it's almost like a reverse freedom.
Yeah,
Like, does that make sense?
yeah,
Like freedom to live safely, but at the same time you're retreating further into these walls.
that's true. It's, yeah, like you're fighting for the right to live almost.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah.
on like
So
a slightly lighter note, I really love Connie and Sasha's pose. It's
why are they always, Sasha, I swear to God, has done nothing but eat and be silly.
and I think this is the perfect place to kind of announce my MVP and LVP and honorable mentions for this volume. I think we've kind of seen.
Ooh, okay.
So my MVP is Annie for her martial arts, mainly because she reminds me of a character from one of the fighting games I love. Honorable mentions, Sasha, of course. Like, I love Sasha, dude. And Connie for being so, so real. Like, a little bit about me. I was in the Scouts, right? And one of the first things I got in trouble for was doing the Scout salute with the wrong hand.
Oh no.
And I relate to Connie with that. It's so confusing sometimes. Like, which hand am I meant to do it with? But that's my Those are my honorable mentions. My LVP for this volume is Jean or Jean, whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
for sure.
the little incel.
Literally. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, I I like Danny a lot in this chapter specifically. I like the fact that she kind of she's almost sort of like a maturing moment for Eren. Like he's kind of like waking up from this hallucination of like, oh yeah, you got to fight for the right thing and everyone should fight for the right thing. Like no one, not everyone can see it that way. Some people just want to survive and like live safely, and that's okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I didn't really consider MVP, LVP. Definitely not LVP. I felt like I liked all the characters except for Jean, but uh um but yeah, I think hopefully nobody thinks that I'm copying you, but yeah, I like Annie as well. I reckon she's my MVP. this time around as well.
Yeah.
She's just really cool in general, and also just like, yeah, she kind of allows Eren's character to develop naturally during this kind of like training stage that they're in with the flashback.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like that she's kind of um like the voice of reason for Eren, kind of like showing him like, hey, like this is like to some extent Eren's been lucky, right? To have a
Yeah.
nice happy childhood, loving family, blah blah. A lot of it was taken away
Like a
early.
relatively safe.
Yeah, a lot of it was taken away
Yeah.
early on, but like some people, like as we can tell, like some people do not grow up like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I love that she just kind of like throws Aaron around like a rag doll. I love it.
That's true. I really like that. Like just absolutely bullying him.
Literally, literally.
And it's a good contrast to like Eren like having second like being the second best in their cohort for hand to hand combat.
Mm,
Like that's such a complete 180 compared to what we saw in the past.
yeah, for sure.
But yes.
Um, Also, she's my MVP because I feel like she best describes the whole discussion that we were talking about. Like, why? Like, I'm literally just gonna quote her right now. Like, why is it that in this world, the people with the best ability to oppose the Titans get the privilege of staying far away from them? So it's almost like, has society like downgraded to the point where we're not even trying anymore? Is kind of what we're saying.
That's true.
And it also kind of begs the question of like privilege over duty again. Like we know that it's only kind of like the best of the best that get to serve like the king specifically, military, brigade, police, and they basically get the best benefits, quote unquote, right? Because safety and like ensuring
Mm,
their livelihood of their families as well. So it's kind of clear that the society would rather protect like the 1% than try to improve things for the 99%.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Can I can I be a bit cynical for a
yeah.
moment? Slightly. I'm not sure if cynical is the right word, but what if the government set it up so that you're allowed to kind of request to be in the military police brigade as kind of like a final test for the people? Like you've put in all this hard work, and they're kind of testing if it's been for the right reasons so far.
Mm, mm,
Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
like you said, it's like that question of duty versus privilege. Like, do these people realize that what is their duty, or are they going for the privileges only?
Yeah.
And like maybe it's this way on purpose.
Yeah. End of the day, we still don't know how the inner city functions. So, for all we know, it could actually be
Yeah.
worse. And so we continue at dinner. The trio, our good old trio, discuss how getting
Mm-hmm.
basically like the reason why everyone's learning vertical maneuvering, right, is because like it gets the most
Yeah.
points, which means you get a better chance of joining the inner wall, like the interior wall.
Yeah.
And basically it's kind of backfired, right? There's like a reduced interest in joining the survey corps because like why? Like
Yeah.
why? Um
It's like a negative feedback loop.
yeah, especially with the fact that like big chungus appeared, kind of messed things up. you know like
Yes. Yes.
nobody's not everyone's like gonna be like, yes, let me just join the survey corps, get a big good look
It's
at
like
big chungus while I'm there. um
yeah, I want to fight the 50-meter tall freak of nature.
Literally. And
Um,
Aaron suggests that it may be a sign that there are plans to improve titan killing techniques. Like he's assuming that
mhm.
there's some sort of like top-notch research going on there, which again feels like it's pointing towards like what Grisha may have been doing.
That's
Like
true.
no clue though. Honestly, I just want Grisha to just show up, be like, guys, guess who's back? Like,
Hi guys.
hi guys.
Can you imagine it? Can you imagine he just shows up and he just says like, oh yeah, for the past 5 years I've kind of been like gambling and drinking every day.
Like literally, right?
He just went to go get milk.
Oh my god.
That's all he was doing.
Yeah. Um,
That'd be kind of
that would
funny.
be really funny. Like Grisha just like got lost, like 5 years.
Yeah, he got lost and just been vibing
Mm,
in like Shiganshina or Trust.
yeah. Hold on. What was I saying? Oh yeah, and then Jean, being good old Jean, instigates a shouting match, which quickly looks it basically escalates right into like almost a physical fight.
Yeah.
And then Eren realizes that
I like that Jean's crying like a little bitch.
yeah, Eren realizes that Jean is like holding back tears and is basically he's just doing what Eren was doing before, right? Kind of like verbalizing his feelings,
Yeah.
getting it out there into the world. Um, but having had some character development through Annie, like we mentioned, he pulls the same like flip move to end the fight.
Yep.
And basically like pulls a Reiner as well, and then kind of asks Jean like how can he call himself a soldier if these are his views and kind of like his motivations for doing them. And guess who comes in?
Yeah.
Mr. Baldy.
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 Baldy over there.
Okay, you can sing it.
Oh, I can. Okay. Baldy over there. What's it like to have no hair? Is it hot or is it cold? I don't know because I'm not bald. I have long luscious locks.
And I have really pretty thick hair too, so no Baldy for us.
However, according to my genetics, I might have a receding hairline. We'll find out later.
Oh,
I only have this privilege for a little
skill
bit.
issue.
Stop. I'm too young to have receding hairline.
It's okay.
Right?
It's okay. We have treatments for that now. But yeah, Baldy comes in and he's like, "What's all this noise, guys?" And then why does Mikasa fucking throw Sasha under the bus like that? What is what?
That's surreal though. Me as fuck. I love that.
Not only does she throw Sasha under the bus, she says it's like a fart.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, the fact that Mikasa says she just did a really big fart, or the fact that Bold Man just accepts it point blank.
And went away.
Yeah.
Is it because of the
All he does is
potatoes?
learn some self control, huh?
Is it because of the potatoes? Like they make you gassy.
True. It's
Baldy
the
was
starch
like, "Oh,
content.
she ate so many potatoes that day." Just
At least Sasha gets paid for her services of being like a scapegoat. She gets bread.
that's true. She gets what she wants.
So win-win.
Um, but yeah, so the next day we see Eren again talking to Annie during like this one-on-one combat practice. Cause like Jean and Eren were going to square up that night, but they didn't. They kind of postponed the
Yep.
fight. So much for being mature, yeah. But yeah, they observed Jean putting in kind of like more effort to so that he could fight Eren properly and win, right? But yeah, I get again. I love Annie's like role in all of this. She's like, "Oh, I'm happy to teach you the little move that I taught you," and Aaron's like, "No, I don't want to be flipped anymore." And then Annie just fucking flips him again.
She's so real for that. It's like, oh please, I insist, and then proceeds to absolutely beat the shit out of him. So
just love-
based.
I love women. Like,
Um.
but yeah, okay. So we're on our final chapter now. Last stretch.
Also, wait, sorry. Before we kind of like go into the final chapter, I'm really sorry. We get a little bit of tidbit of information about ultra hard steel, like the stuff that the blades are made out of.
Yeah,
really
I was
interesting.
I was gonna say maybe that's what the walls are made of.
Steel,
Like the inner, like there might be some structural foundation there, surely.
but it wouldn't crumble like that. If it's
No,
flexible, it wouldn't crumble.
yeah.
You would see like be like so metal can be one of two things. It can either be really flexible or it can be really brittle. They're describing ultra hard steel as really flexible, so it wouldn't crumble the way the walls did, regardless of if it's inside or out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, Also, this is it's referred to as a specially creased forged blade, and is known far and wide as an anti-Titan weapon. Blast furnaces are essential to refine ultra-hard steel, which is why it can only be produced in factory towns, which is peculiar. I don't think they would be able to use that for walls.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, they're describing it as a really limited production. They're saying that it's only made within blast furnaces and it's only used as an anti-Titan weapon. And that the production is kind of like a big secret. So I
So I'm
don't think
guessing
it's,
inner walls again, interior
yeah.
city.
All roads lead back to fucking interior wall.
Yeah, I cannot wait for them to end up there somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. I am very curious about this. But okay, that's enough of that. Please do go on.
Okay, sure. So, very last chapter, it's called "What Should I Do Now?" And basically, it's the continuation of this training arc. I love that we have like a. It's not technically like a winter training arc. It's just like a general training arc. Um, but yeah, we see the recruits kind of trekking in the rain with Mr. Baldy on a horse. Um, and Armin's kind of struggling to keep up with the team because he's not as like skilled, like physically
Yeah.
capable. And we see Reiner being really nice, selflessly helping him with carrying the backpack. And
Yeah.
I love that Baldy's just watching this and isn't really like phased.
Saying anything.
Yeah, he's kind of just observing.
I
Yeah, he's sorry.
Yeah, I really like Baldy seems like a really mean character, but for some reason I feel he's more trustable than someone like Pixis, you know?
Yeah, end of the day, like he's supposed to, he can't just be like buddy buddy with like everyone. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's clear that his like intentions are.
Yeah, he's not buddy buddy, but he's not like he's not at least like I don't know, something about the way Pixis's character is presented is very antagonistic. Like he's willing
Yeah.
to let people die for his own goals, but this guy he's more caring. Like he actually embodies the role of a
Yeah, I
teacher.
know what you mean. Like at the end of the day, like his intentions are clear. It's just to make sure these recruits become like good soldiers. Like, and if he has to be harsh to do that, he will. But it's not like there's
Yeah.
bad intentions there.
Also, this training arc really confuses me because for 1 second they're kind of like, running with heavy packs on their back, and then the next second it's just vertical maneuvering equipment, which is kind of it threw me off a bit when I first read it.
Yeah, me too. But it's fine. Yeah, we do see them kind of like we do see the recruits carrying out like this kind of attack exercise, like trying to find the
Mm.
titans and attacking that weak spot. Um, but yeah, like this the starting of this chapter is interesting. Kind of just like Mr. Baldy, like assessing all the different side characters we have and the main characters. We know that
Yes.
Reiner's pretty trusted around amongst the comrades. Armin's also, of course, is very smart and he's great at fighting, but we know that she's not like very social or cooperative in that
Yeah.
sense. But so
Yeah.
um it's like kind of like an all-rounder but doesn't really help out with decision making and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Jean, he literally said that Jean is like skilled but is a little bitch. Um, and
Yeah. I love that. That yeah.
yeah, and Connie, good physical skills but not very strategic, and then Sasha, speedy with good instinct, but literally would be a liability if you try to do like an organized attack or organized effort to do something,
No,
which makes
but
sense.
I'm so happy Sasha's not useless. It's like one of the few times the comic relief
Mm,
character isn't completely useless, and I love that.
yeah, like end of the day, she worked her way there, you know.
I respect that. And then we get some Mikasa glazing from Baldy, which is
Yeah, pretty much.
it's like, oh, she's perfect,
Literally,
historically unprecedented.
quote unquote, most valuable of them all. Like, okay, Baldy, we know you have preferences. Um, we know you have favorites, Baldy. It's okay. And then, Eren,
Yeah,
interestingly enough, literally described in the best way possible. Strongest sense of purpose and good at fighting, and that's pretty much it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and no other skills. But I'm it kind of like they I like that they showed that he's proficient at barehanded. It's kind of like the
Mm.
continuation of Annie's continuing to teach him. Like he keeps on saying he doesn't want to he said he didn't want to learn from her because it hurt, but they are learning. Like she's teaching him and he is learning from her, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah, and I also feel like Annie, at face value, like what Valdi said, she's not very cooperative maybe in a group, but in terms of like helping other recruits, I feel like once like she knows people can be real with her, like she comes through.
Sorry.
So after this exercise, we see that Eren kind of questions this guy, Marco, because apparently he found like the different targets,
Mm,
but didn't really take the points for himself. Like it was an exercise to see how many titans you could kill, but instead of like taking the points when he found the targets, he actually like let other people take the points. Um, and which was especially
yep.
interesting since he himself, like since Marco, this guy wants to go end up with the military police brigade as well. So um
Yeah.
basically Marco's really humble, quite a nice guy. Says that he's not as quick as the other people. He's more of like useful as bait in a real life scenarios in real life scenarios for Titans. But Aaron's sweet here. He kind of like
Yep.
helps to hype him up, saying he'd be great as like a leader, which a lot of the recruits agree with. So that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
And it only gets ruined because Gene starts opening his mouth.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse. Jean instantly ruining the moment, like implying Aaron's a blockhead, like a suicidal blockhead, or the fact that Aaron doesn't understand who he's talking about, and so does Connie.
I love it. Connie reminds me so much of just like Tanaka from Haikyuu. Like he's just like he looks stupid, but he's not necessarily that stupid. But also sometimes he
Yeah,
is. But yeah.
dude, I'm saying Connie's
Um
such a G. He's like the second comic relief character.
Literally, I just love them. Like this like volume and having like these chapters where they're kind of like getting to know one another, forming like their squads and their teams. Like it's so like you feel so like so much
Hmm.
endearment towards them because at the end of the day they're like what 13. They're like
Yeah,
they've just turned into teenagers. Those are babies. So yeah.
yeah, but and I do like the fact that like Gene is kind of like shown off as a piece of shit. Like he's a little bitch, right? As you said.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's not like he's kind of ousted. Like he's not just like, oh yeah, he's a bitch. He's more nuanced than that. He's got his like nice points where like Marco tells him like, Gene, I think you'd make a better leader than me, and that's kind of like he is part of the group. He's not just someone who's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like is the part right where it like Marcos saying that Jean, like despite everything, Jean he believes Jean to be a better leader than him because of some reason, which we find out
Yeah.
later. Because We finally
Yeah.
finish the flashback and we cut to the present time after, Eren's success at the start of volume blocking off the wall from to the Titans.
Yep.
And this is so sad. Jean sees like Marco on the ground, half eaten, and yeah, basically just dead. And
Yeah. Like vertically eaten in half.
yeah,
It's disgusting.
yeah. And we can also see like the other recruits helping up with the cleanup phase. We learned that the Titans like there's like Titan puke everywhere. Basically everything that
Yep.
they eat when they can eat is basically like regurgitated back up since they lack intestinal tracts. And that's why we know for a
Yep.
fact they don't have buttholes because there's no
Exactly.
intestines to actually even connect the butthole to the stomach. So yes, no buttholes, zero buttholes. um,
On a slightly more serious note, though, why do you reckon that they eat humans if it's not for food?
here's the
Like, I can understand hunting humans for fun, but why the act of eating?
here's the thing, and that's why I feel like my one theory in this volume being the zombie theory, where like maybe Titans were initially like half slash mainly controlled by humans until like the physical toll
Okay.
like kind of killed the human off in the Titan. So now they're kind of on this
Uh
kind of
huh.
like autopilot, almost zombie like state where they kind of have to act or like fulfill certain actions to feel like they're alive, like an entity still, but not necessarily.
Like they're kind of searching for the sense of identity.
Not sense of identity. Like that's on the assumption they have like a consciousness, right? But yeah, kind of just like
Yeah.
that autopilot. Like, oh, we don't have any more like messages being sent to our brain to do stuff, so now we're just gonna sustain ourselves. But maybe they're not realizing they don't have to, or maybe yeah, they don't have to.
What if they're trying to replace the human that's missing in them,
Mm,
but to their primitive or like autopilot mind, it's kind of like, oh yeah, if this human enters our body, we're gonna go back to the way we were,
like an absorption.
but they're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah. That could be one of those things too, like looking for that missing piece. Um,
The missing link.
yeah, and like yeah, I don't
Um,
actually know, but it is interesting that they still have that function to eat without actually digesting. So
yeah.
no clue what that's supposed to be.
Also, we see Annie kind of like apologizing,
Mm-hmm.
and Raina's like, "There's no point in apologizing. Let's hurry up and get the funeral over with after all the training we did." Which is, yeah, it's a bit. I don't know. Something about the way Annie's just standing there saying, "I'm sorry," rubs me the wrong way.
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Like, her reactions really different. Like, okay, if you look at the other characters, right? When they kind of see the dead bodies, like they kind of go really wide eyed, and like the manga panel, like where like the characters' eyes kind of like go light and really wide eyed, and like that's how they show shock or surprise.
Yeah.
Like that's present with Sasha, that's present with Jean, but then maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, but pretty peculiar to me at the time. I don't know why I wrote this down in my notes now.
Yeah, she kind of just
But
looks
yeah,
in shock, really. But yeah.
yeah, okay, never mind. I guess my bad, guys.
Yeah. So in front of a large fire, Jane thinks back to what Marco said to him like long ago, right? So what he actually said, what
Yeah,
Marco actually said was that Jean would be a better leader than Marco because Jean isn't a strong person. So therefore he would know how weak people would feel like and would be able to recognize these signs and what needs to be done to resolve that. So
Mm.
and that's why Marco believes that Jean actually would have a special ability to connect to his squad members if he was a leader. So I feel like this really resonated with him. Like you know how like for all intents and purposes Jean was like has been terrible this whole volume. But if we actually look into
Yeah.
like his like inner turmoil as like someone who doesn't actually know, like there's so much uncertainty going on, and like there's like risk of his safety and everything. Like you can understand why a 13-year-old would be scared to give up his life for people he doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's unfair to say,
Yeah.
it's unfair to tell like these 13-year-olds like don't go into the inner circle, go risk your life for our society over here. um so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why it's really cool that we now see that the title of this chapter refers to like Jean's anguish and unsureness about his like path right now. But he does decide to join the Survey Corps after this, which is pretty cool. That's
Yeah, I
pretty.
think that's such a sweet character development of like he's giving up on that cozy life and he knows what's right. He's picking between duty and privilege and this time he's picking duty.
Yeah, because yeah, like he's seen like the sacrifice people he actually knows, like yeah, sacrifices
Yeah.
that they made. So it's really cool to see him actually kind of take on the mantle after them. Yeah,
Mm.
hopefully he will be less of like an annoying character, because he was slightly annoying. But to be fair,
Yeah.
you know,
At least he was better than like Daz from previous volume. I don't think anyone can top the irritation Daz causes me
yeah.
as a character. I genuinely hope he doesn't appear again.
We move away from like the recruits, and we kind of see the military. We see the military kind of like further tying up the loose
Yeah.
ends, right? Killing off the titans that are still around, and insanely, they capture two titans alive,
Yeah, it's
which begs the question, like, why?
well, I'd assume it's for like physiology, like to figure out what the
Like research purposes,
yeah.
right?
I just want to say the way they capture the Titans looks so creepy. Like they nail
It's all the pins,
yeah,
right?
it reminds me of acupuncture. But like
It reminds me of that dude from Hunter x Hunter.
yes, yes. I don't want to say his name because it's a spoiler, but yes, yes, it does. I know who you were talking about. The guy with
Yeah.
the pins and the weird
That
face.
one specific
Yes,
dude.
it's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
reminds me of him too.
But I hope that the fact that they mentioned these two titans being captured alive, I'm guessing they haven't done this in a while, but they do have the technology for it.
Yeah,
So this has happened before, but they definitely haven't done this in a while, I want to say.
yeah.
Which I feel, I hope means that we might be coming to see Grisha soon. This might
Oh, why did you
relate.
say that?
Just cuz like if they're gonna, cuz like it's quite clear, right? They're gonna experiment on these people, on these titans.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping if Grisha is missing somewhere, it's probably in the interior wall. And if these titans are coming in, I'm hoping to see, Grisha playing a role with that. Yeah. Um.
I do want to say I like the two differing methods they kind of pin down the Titans. Like for one of them, they sewed the mouth shut. But for the other, they decided to kind of like pin the jaw, like the lower jaw and upper jaw apart, and the tongue separately,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting. Like it kind of goes to show like there was some thought put into the way the Titans are posed because they're presumably going to use one for like more for like tests on abdominal area or like the limbs, while the other is more for like the oral cavity.
Yeah, I
You
know
know,
what you mean. Yeah.
which is
It's
pretty
so
cool.
it's so creepy to think about, but yeah.
Yes, yes, it really is creepy.
We cut to Eren basically talking to Captain Levi and this guy called Commander Irwin, who is the leader
Mm,
of the Survey Corps. And yeah, so Commander Irwin was the one kind of like telling Eren about this because turns out he's been in a coma for 3 days. And we also find out that he's actually being held captive because he's like in a bed behind bars in apparently a
yeah,
dungeon. Which I
and
mean,
chained up.
fair. Like, yeah, which is fair considering like we know what he turns into.
Yeah.
Um, and we also find out that Erwin has Aaron's dad's basement key. So
Mm,
um, so basically he so basically Erwin shows Aaron the key and questions kind of like what are Aaron's intentions, because to achieve like Aaron's goal of like actually getting to that basement, finding out what's in there, they'd have to risk not just his life but like other
multiple people.
soldiers and stuff, yeah, to
Yes.
regain like Wall Maria. um
Yeah.
and yeah, and also there's also that kind of complexity that Levi doesn't actually believe Aaron telling the truth, but Erwin says there
Yeah.
isn't really a reason for him to lie, but who knows, right? And also like the whole reliable narrator thing. So you
Yes.
know what?
Yes. Also, I do like the fact that there's kind of a dichotomy between Pixis and Irwin. Like the two big shots we've seen for soldiers so far. Pixis
Mm,
literally says like, I don't care how many people die as long as like my goal is achieved. That's all I care about. And Owen's first thing is like, not only am I risking your life, I'm risking my soldiers' lives, which is a much more positive look on the government.
yeah, I know what you mean. It's been really interesting to see the different kind of like leadership styles over here.
Yeah,
And if even if like we might have preferences on what leadership style should work best, at the end of the day, like as of right now, seems like Pixis has been more successful at least. But that was mainly because of Aaron.
that's true. And I do like the little comment Irvin makes where he says that our fate rides on a titan. Like it's kind of like a really bittersweet irony that the very thing hunting them down is the thing that's going to kind of save them, which we talked about previously too. I think.
Yeah, like the whole thing about like now that they have someone who literally is in like that gray area between a human and a titan, exploring that gray area is going to be
Yeah,
interesting for everyone. Um
yeah.
but yeah. Um Aaron's response to all of this is once again he wants to kill them titans. If if the titans have a single hater, it's Aaron, and if they have zero haters, it means Aaron's dead.
Yeah, it's literally that hater copy pasta. If Titans have 1 million haters, I am one of them. If Titans have one hater, I am him.
Yeah, literally,
I
Aaron
love
just
that.
freaking hates the titans.
I guess
Um,
it also kind of goes to show that like despite all the character development we've seen so far, he's sort of regressed back to his more naive outlook where he just wants to kill the Titans. He doesn't care about like he doesn't even talk about the outside world in terms of his intentions. Like his intention is not to go to the outside world. It is to enter the Survey Corps and kill Titans specifically.
yeah, like it's almost like it was such a it was such an innocent dream before,
Yeah.
and then now there's so much like violence and you know blood like bloodthirst
Yeah.
involved in Aaron's motives. So again, it's kind of like almost like the the author is already kind of like implying that there's not even implying, like just straight up telling us there's so much darkness in Eren's nature, even when he was a kid. Like
Yeah.
it's like literally in his nature. So it'll be interesting to see if Eren does become like the anti-hero. I mean, he already kind of is turning out to be in some way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to explore. Um Also, there was like something that Erwin said, like your will is the key to freeing the human race from this despair.
While holding up the key to the basement.
Yeah, I was just it's just like it's either Erwin knows something because in the first place, why is Erwin trusting this like like Eren so completely?
Okay. I have a sort of theory based on what we've seen of Owen so far.
Mm.
I want to say there's two ways this could be seen, right? Either the upper people, like the as Levi calls them, the mucky mucks, are so desperate for like some sort of solution that they're willing to quite literally open up their cards to anything that looks like that could help them. In this case, Eren,
True.
which explains why Pixis was so readily accepting of him, despite Pixis clearly being like Pixis is desperate. He's ready to give up any amount of soldiers as long as like humanity gets back trust and Shiganshina. Irvin's in the
Yeah.
same boat, probably, but like to a lesser degree. He also believes that he's willing to go down every path if there's some sort of possible result.
And I guess like being the commander of like, leader of the entire survey corps, it makes sense why like, he's probably known so many people. He's probably encountered so many people who like ended up just dying because of like encounters
Yeah,
with titans. So, but
yeah,
yeah, I did actually notice that like to some extent Pixis and Erwin are the same. Like in that they are
mm,
desperate. They do seem very desperate. So, yeah. I yeah, I'm just like yeah, like I just don't know if like the phrase like your will is the key to freeing the human race kind of like is just so like overkill. Like so, like no, it's just so like dramatic, but I also don't know
yeah.
if that's like if there's underlying context there.
What if it's in reference to like when Eren was trying to plug up that hole, he gained like control through sheer willpower, right? Like he says like because I was born into this world, and he like revives his Titan and he starts controlling the Titan. What if that's what he mean by your will is a key? It's like your will to control the Titan is a key to like
Mm.
humanity being saved. Yeah,
Okay.
freeing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So like, what
because
if
like
it's
yeah, they
it?
they have seen the physical toll it takes on the human body to control a titan like that. So
Yeah,
it's more like if yeah, I you know what? Actually, it's almost like a threat. Like I'm sorry that we're dissecting this so much. We're probably gonna cut out all of this, but kind of just like I guess it calls back to the start of this whole volume. Like there would be no success if Eren just doesn't take control of the Titan. In fact, they'll be forced
yeah,
to like leave him or kill him. So, you know.
yeah. Which is that's true.
But yeah, the the chapter ends off with Levi accepting Eren finally into the Survey Corps, and that's how they've set up for Volume 5.
Yeah. I feel like Levi accepted him a bit too easily. I don't know if that goes to speak of Levi's confidence or if Levi knows something.
Yeah, it, I'm really curious about like how far up the chain of command do you have to go to actually learn what's really going on behind closed doors, behind small walls. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Levi's been set up to be a very important character here. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the end of volume 4. How did you like this volume? After we've discussed, has your idea kind of changed?
I feel like there's still so much left unanswered that my views
Mm.
haven't changed. And by those views, I mean that anything is possible. Like nothing yet that might tell me, oh, this theory might be more convincing than this theory. And like we still don't know anything about the Titans. We don't know where Grisha is. We don't know how Eren
That's true.
is. Um, yeah. How about you?
I think this volume did like a really good job at setting up more questions than actually giving us any answers. Apart from the buttholes, it did answer the question about Titan's buttholes,
We did find out about the buttholes.
which was super important. So that's good. We've got at least one mystery cleared up, but yeah, I think this volume was more like you can ask more questions now instead of
Yeah. I really liked the backstory part though. I feel like that might have taken away so much from like, plot, cuz like this volume just means that in the real like timeline, right, nothing has happened
yeah.
technically.
Well, I guess some stuff has happened, but it's not as much as it could have been.
Yeah, as
The at the
compared to the previous volumes.
Yeah, the
It's
flashbacks were really important because it really gives you nuance to every character. Like, sure, Jean is like if Jean goes on to become like a really good squad leader, it it makes the him becoming a really good squad leader that much more heavy hitting because he
yeah.
lost Marco, and Marco's the one who said you'd make a good squad leader, and
Yeah.
like
I
every character's kind of like grown from there.
Yeah, I feel like this but actually, you know what? The fact that this volume is a lot of flashbacks makes so much sense considering that if the whole Titan attack didn't happen, they were literally going to decide where all these characters were going to end up with which division. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out now after this attack.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because they said they took statements from Armin and Mikasa, like testimonies about what's happened. So I'm curious to see what happens to Eren. Like, also his character, like, how does he develop from here? Because he's had development, but then he's also regressed at the same time.
Regressed.
Yeah, like in the sense that we see this whole plot development of him realizing he's a soldier, and also at the start of the volume,
Oh.
he realizes that, he stopped talking about the outside world to protect Armin, but now he should probably like he doesn't need to protect Armin because Armin's also a soldier. But
And I
when
wonder if he will eventually experience some form of self hatred, considering he's always had so much hatred for Titans.
That's true. Like what if in the future he realizes all the Titans are actually somehow humans or like related back to humans in some meaningful way, and that hatred towards Titans turns inward.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
I'm very psyched to see all of that. Actually, yeah.
yeah. Anyways, that was volume 5.
Volume 4.
Next, sorry, volume 4. What am
That
I
was volume
saying?
4. Yeah.
Yes, volume 4. We cover next week we'll be covering volume 5, chapters 19 to 22.
Very
As
exciting.
always, there will be a test, and this is on the test. So please do read. We'll probably put up like an Instagram post asking for theories. So That'd be kind of
Yeah,
fun.
we would love to see your theories. Like
Yeah.
anyone who's just starting, as well as people who are just rereading, maybe picking up stuff that they didn't realize. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I realized something interesting, but I can't say it's spoilers. So I'll come back to it. I've made a note and I will come back to it whenever it's not breaking plot.
So yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, this has been Shinsōban, your little book club on the internet, and we'll see you next week.
Bye bye.